Welcome to Motivate You, the Winner Circle here on This50.com. Your host, June Archer. I am here with my big brother,
All right,
mentor for so many years.
family.
He is a part of the native tongues. He is hip hop elite. I can't give you too many adjectives that will describe how this man has moved the culture forward. Please welcome to the show, Dres from Black Sheep. Dres, what's going on, brother?
Feeling good to be here with your family, no doubt. Love is love.
Man, bro, it is such a pleasure and an honor to just reconnect with you, man. How have you been? How was the family? How is life during this hip hop COVID is what I'm gonna start calling. I
Yeah.
can't just call it regular COVID. Because I know y'all don't stop making music. So we're gonna call it hip hop COVID, man. How have you been doing during these times?
It's a little different. It's a different world today for us. What I'm saying. Especially as an elder statesman. What I'm saying, more so like there's the family's involved, and the kids and all the above. It's not just a self mission like when we were kids. You just trying to do your own thing. Now you kind of trying to take care of not only yourself but your children, your family, your parents. Like it's a lot going on to it. And it's a lot more serious as far as just the dynamics of maintaining. But maintaining though, what I'm saying, like that's first and foremost, is that we come from a place that, regardless of what it is or what it was, what the terrain might entail of, that we gotta come through. What I'm saying? So just doing what we gotta do, coming through, and you know, looking for the better days. You know.
Definitely. You guys have put your footprint on hip hop. This journey has been amazing to you guys. And what we've seen over the past couple of years is you guys are now the talk. You guys have been touring. I mean, pre-COVID, I would see you guys, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, De La Soul. You guys are back out on the road, and there's this resurgence of just the classic love for hip hop music and performance,
Right. Right.
right? Because you guys were masters of performing these records and bringing them to life
Right.
for those who really love the music. How did it feel to, I don't want to say, bro, and I mean this respectfully, a second chance or a second life to go back out and give us the music that we love? How did it feel?
It's been a beautiful look. What I'm saying. Honestly, and and you're hitting it right on the head. You're not taking away from the dynamics of what it is. For a second, I had some sincere concerns, whereas in hip hop, there's ageism. What I'm saying, and it's something that's you don't really find in other genres of music. Like it doesn't really exist in rock and roll. It doesn't really exist in jazz per se, or R&B per se. What I'm saying, like the elder statesmen in rock and roll are revered. What I'm saying. Rolling Stone, is going to sell out an arena. What I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Aerosmith, Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen,
Right, right,
Billy
right,
Joel. Like we could keep going on and on.
right, exactly. But in hip hop, saying, it's kind of like the young eats his elders. Whereas you'll hear the cats, and it was a little concerning for me, where you'll hear the young cats like I don't really mess with them older cats, this, that, and the other, and it was concerning to say that they're not understanding that as time is going by, the attention spans are getting a lot shorter, and in 5 years they're the older cat, and they're setting a precedence for the younger cats to not mess with them in 5 years, as opposed to what I'm saying, it being like, yo, let me introduce you to the cat that inspired me. Let me take the cat that inspired me out on the road, make sure he's good, and setting a precedence that in 5, 7, 10, hopefully 15, 20 years down the road, that's being offered to them. What I'm saying? So that was a little concerning to me, to be honest with you. But I think that the music itself is kind of spoken for itself, and 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 the consumers have kind of become over inundated with what the cookie cutter sound has become.
Right.
And like the music has become like one long song, and there's not a lot of diversity. There's not a lot of change in the subject matter, and we come from a place where we could all coexist and
Right. Right.
reap the benefits and move the culture forward. And so to see that 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 the culture demanded that cats of our era, kind of, like what's going on. Mind you, at the same time, I've become independent. I have my own company as far as, to release records. I've released independent projects on my own. But like I said, like it was kind of hard to find the platforms to make the world available, know what's available, even peep it. So, for it to come full circle again, and to be able to go on the road globally and do shows and, as well to have cats check for new sounds was instrumental, and it gives us the opportunity to kind of speak to things like the ageism and kind of, like there was a disconnect, what I'm saying, like within the kids and the older cats, what I'm saying, there was a disconnect. So it gives us a chance to kind of correct that, what I'm saying. Right. And it's really important that, like that we're able to speak to the fact that, like, like same cat that might say something like, I don't mess with those type of beats, or I don't mess with those older cats. Like, like that was a few years ago now. And now they're seeing their mortality, what I'm saying? And so with me saying something like this, it's not falling upon deaf ears, what I'm saying? So that's a good look. And another thing that's so dope about right now is, when we were coming up, it was pretty cliquish, what I'm saying? Like even in New York, it was pretty cliquish, what I'm saying? And everybody kind of was able to sustain themselves. And it's amazing to me to kind of become friends with cats that, like we, different crews didn't necessarily, and even boroughs, as well as states and regions, really didn't embrace each other like brothers.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But that's different today. You know what I'm saying? Like, like today, like when you find yourself doing a show, be it whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll take the time and you'll sit down and you'll chop it up, and I'm discovering these new relationships with cats that I've always, had a respect for, but might not have necessarily sat next to. Today, next to each other, we're having a meal today, you know what I'm saying? And we're chopping it up, and there's a kinship that now exists that I wish had existed then, because I think that would have been a better example for the kids of today.
I agree. I agree. But now let's indulge, because there is something going on with what you just said. And I want to talk about our brother Busta Rhymes. I feel like he's reversing that conversation. Whether you like it or not, hip hop has been very braggadocious. It's been a sport for a lot of people. And so we see this thing with Busta and T.I., and I think that's the conversation. Like, I might be a different generation, but I will give you the business. You don't really want this smoke, young man. Yeah. Right? So we're having that conversation. I want to know, I want you to weigh in, because there may be a generational gap, but I think hip hop is hip hop. Like I would love, and we're gonna get to it on this game, because this game we're gonna have fun with this University of Dope game. But I want you to weigh in. Like, how do you feel about that conversation with having the understanding that you're gonna respect what came before you, because your generation, our generation, still respected Kool Herc.
Without question.
Still respected Grandmaster Flash.
Melly Mel. No doubt. Shoot, Kaz and all. I mean, I think as well, like we had the opportunity to realize that like hip hop didn't exist for us. It didn't exist when we were kids. You know what I'm saying? So we were able to kind of hold these cats before us, and like a sincere admiration, a sincere revere, because they were the shoulders on which we stood. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, we started to get paid. You know what I'm saying? We started to make a little bit of paper, but they didn't make any paper. You know what I'm saying? And they did it.
They have no pensions. They have no pension, no health insurance.
Yo, I'm saying for real, man. Like all of the above. Like if they need to go to the dentist, you know what I'm saying? Like they had to go, literally put that paper together. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever the case was, grocery, whatever the case was, they literally were doing it for pennies, if for money at all. It was a lot of love that they displayed to get this thing that we call hip hop, the ball rolling. And being that we were able to kind of, you know, like we were the kids that only got it on the weekends. And, you know, we'd put the cassette tape in, press record, and then go back outside. You know what I'm saying? Come back in 30, 40 minutes, flip the tape, press record again, and then go back outside. And that was our hip hop for the week.
Right.
You know, so we had a true admiration for it. You know what I'm saying? And we studied, we were students of, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no one that, you know, that came before us that we didn't study. And you know, so there came a point where and I'm honored to have stood on the shoulders of greatness and to have pushed the culture forward. Like, you know, like, you know, we were the first hip hop group on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. You know what I'm saying? At the time, we didn't realize how important that was. You know what I'm saying? The a performance on In Living Color or a performance on my man
Arsenio Hall.
Arsenio, right. You know, like that was us bringing hip hop into Middle America's home. You know what I'm saying? They weren't messing with us prior to that. You know what I'm saying? So like we were all stepping stones to get to this place where there's hundreds of millionaires today. You know what I'm saying? Like there's cats that are approaching $1 billion. $1 billion. There's cats that have $100 million. Like that wasn't even something that we dreamed of. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't even dream of that because it didn't exist. I remember the first time I heard a beat on a commercial. Like I ran to the television because it meant that much to just hear a beat, not even a rhyme, just a beat on the television. You know what I'm saying? When hip hop started becoming something that was played every day on the radio, as opposed to just late at night on the weekends. Pardon me. Like it was that important, you know what I'm saying? And the cats in front of us laid the foundation for us to push a little further. And the cats behind us pushed it a little further. You know, it's now at the point where, you know, like, if you have a hit record today, that's life altering. Like, you know, you can literally become a millionaire and retire, you know, off of a 2-3 year run. You know what I'm saying? Like that was unheard of when we were coming up. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, so to kind of get to where a T.I. is, you know, and a Busta, you know, like we, man, this work is for real. You know what I'm saying? This work is dead serious. We're dead nice. I equate it to being a master chef or a third Dan in you know, like in Taekwondo. You know what I'm saying? Like if you've practiced karate for 20 plus years, you're dead nice. Period.
Right.
You're dead nice. If you've been a chef for 20 years, you're a master chef. You don't need someone to tell you that it tastes good. You know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can taste, you know, the little bit of, you know, thyme and little, you know, the basil and, you know, like you already know. You don't need someone to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so a Busta Rhymes he's a master at what he does.
Right.
You know, myself, I'm a master at what I do. Like, I don't need you to tell me that rhyme was dope. I know that rhyme was dope.
I know it's dope. I do this for real. Like I do this for real.
Right. Like I'm dead serious with it. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like we got down with whoever was in the room. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't matter how young or how old. It was all about who you are in the room. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that was important because you made mention a few minutes ago that you studied. Like you guys studied, you know, whether it was competition, was people that came before you. But for some reason, Dres, even when you studied your own crew, right?
Right.
You never sounded like anybody else. Black Sheep sounded like Black Sheep. Dilla sounded like Dilla. Leaders sounded like Leaders. Right. Monie Love sounded like Monie Love. Right. Latifah sounded like Latifah. Jungle Brothers sounded like Jungle Brothers. And I could go on and on.
Right. And that was important. You know what I'm saying? That was very important to establish your identity. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I kind of always, and no slight to Jay-Z at all, but I kind of always look to Jay-Z's blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And it was like kind of once that kind of was established that, oh, you know, if I follow a blueprint, I can mimic the success as well.
Right. And
that was the beginnings of emulating something that was successful. And, you know, like, we don't really come from that. You know, like, we're happy for your success, but for me to go and try to emulate your success, that wasn't really what hip hop was. You know what I'm saying? Like
have your own voice, have your own style.
Anything less was biting. You know what I'm saying? Today, you get props.
Period.
Yeah, right. Today you get props because you sound just like so and so. Oh, he sounds just like so. Yo, yeah, that, you know, and it's almost like, you know, like, it's this blueprint mindset that cats look at the success of something and feel like if they emulate it, that they'll be successful too. And you know, that's kind of been a little bit stagnant for the music. You know what I'm saying? And another thing I feel like has been stagnant for the music is the syndication of our music. You know what I'm saying? Like DJs aren't given the opportunity to break records anymore, really. Like, you know, they're kind of all following the same blueprint. You know what I'm saying?
They play the singles, but they don't dig deep into figuring out, hey, let me play this cut off the album that you haven't, it's a gem that you never heard.
Right. Let me introduce you to something. You know what I'm saying? Like, when was the last time a DJ introduced you to something? You know what I'm saying? And that's something we got every weekend. You know, mind you, we had to wait for the weekend to get that. But we got that every weekend. You know, a Red Alert, you know what I'm saying, was introducing you, Chuck Chill, whoever was introducing you to something you had didn't even know existed. You know what I'm saying? I remember the first time I heard Dilla, Potholes in My Law, I was like, oh my, you know, like, so many big records, you know what I'm saying? Like that just was so creatively done and introduced to you because the DJ had the ability and the leverage and freedom to kind of introduce you to something that wasn't, you know, being heard prior. And we got away from that to a place where everybody, you know, plays the same 15 records, and, you know, and they and you know, 14 of the 15 sound just alike, and, you know, like it that stagnates the music a little bit, and it also takes it to a place where the artist isn't as comfortable pushing himself.
Right. You know, creativity is gone. The creativity is gone.
Right. You know, so that's it. You know, like, Bust comes from, you know, we all came up together. I remember, you know, when leaders were killing before they even dropped a record, they were killing live, like, you know, spot called The Building. You know, like, they would perform there and literally, like, they didn't even have a record out, but just had the presence to be able to blow that building down. You know, Powerhouse. They you know, like, they were dope. So he's been groomed as well as being as well as them being students of the game. You know, like, they were able to kind of carve their own walk. And Busta is, you know, like, he actually speaks to my heart because, you know, like, that's what I intend, you know, like, that's my intent. I've, you know, like, the name, I have a new project that's coming, and you know, it's called No Words. And the mindset behind it is that I don't need to tell you what it is. I'm gonna show you what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I come from. You know what I'm saying? Like, and who gets it? Everybody in this room gets it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's where we come from with it. And you know, it was a little bit upsetting to see T.I. kind of play his way around the situation, because, in my opinion, it's an opportunity for greatness. You don't become a champion unless you get in the ring with a champion. You know what I'm saying? And the opportunity to get in the ring with a champion doesn't present itself often. You know what I'm saying? So you take advantage of those opportunities. And even if you take the L, you still show cats what you're made of. You still show cats what you're capable of. You know what I'm saying? And that's how champions are formed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
going toe to toe. Going toe to toe.
Still show up and still. You know what I'm saying? Still, you know what I'm saying? And marshmallows don't mix. You know what I'm saying?
Jam.
You know what I'm saying? Still a marshmallow don't mix. You know,
Jim.
so that was a little disappointing. And would he have taken the L? You goddamn right he would have taken the L. But at the end of the day, we'd have been like, yo, T.I. is made of much more than I thought he was. I didn't even think he was gonna get in the ring.
I respect that man. I respect that man.
Right. And you know, and it's not like he was gonna get, you know, it wasn't gonna be a donut situation. He was gonna get a round or two. You know what I'm saying? But you got to put that energy forth. You know what I'm saying? You got to go there. Period. And yeah, he might be, you know, might be outclassed a little bit. Yeah, Busta's in a little higher weight division. And yeah, you know, he's got a little more ring savvy than him. You know what I'm saying? But you learn from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's how you learn. You know what I'm saying? And you incorporate that to make yourself greater. You know what I'm saying? And we all, you know, it's very rare that anyone wins every battle they've ever been. You know,
right? You're gonna catch an L. You're going to catch. It's inevitable.
And that's just life. Like we're not even talking about hip hop.
We're talking about life.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But you know, but you take it gracefully, and you learn from it, and it makes you stronger. It makes you better. It makes you sharper. It makes you able to identify a right hook coming at you. You know how to you know what I'm saying? Like you know how to dip that because you got hit with one. You know, and you know, that's just what it is. That's hip hop. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, I get it, you know what I'm saying? And you know, for him to do what he does, you know, he decided to opt out of that. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at him per se. I understand, but it was an opportunity for greatness.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I want to jump into this album, man. No Words, Dilla and Dres.
Yeah, man.
D&D. Dilla Drums is the lead joint. What was the inspiration behind this, man?
Yo, let me put you on the G. Like that's not even an official release.
Wow.
It was just timely. I'm gonna give you a quick synopsis of how this played out. A year ago, I was on the road doing some shows and what have you. I might have been in Chicago, and cats run up on me on, yo, you know, you want to meet Dilla's mom? And I didn't have a relationship with Dilla like that. Like all of the neighbors were really cool with him, but I had really just met him once in passing. I didn't know Dilla like that. And so, but out of respect, I'm like, hell yeah, I want to meet Dilla's mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like back and what have you. And it was just an honor. And I let her know, yo, it's just such an honor to meet you. And, you know, like your son was just amazing. And, you know, just out of respect, just out of sheer respect, I wanted to meet her and, you know, like, you know, and just show her love and, you know, show she's for the culture. She's at my show, you know what I'm saying? In another state that's not even hers. And, you know, yeah, I want to meet her. You know what I'm saying? So I meet her husband named Tony, and you know, they're phenomenal people. And we're chopping it up. I was really glad to meet her. And, you know, and maybe a month or two after, you know, and that was it. Really dry cut, moved on. Maybe a month or two after that, I had a show in Puerto Rico. I was doing a charity event in Puerto Rico. And I look down, and who do I see in the audience was stage right? Dilla's mom and her husband. And I was like, yo, like I was excited that they were there. Like I'm in Puerto Rico. Like, wow, you know, I just met you a couple of months ago. After the set, I go directly to them. And we're chopping it up and we're laughing, this, that, and the other. Turns out they have a crib in Puerto Rico. And, you know, like there's an after party and this, that, and the other. They're like, you know, like we about to go back to our house and mom's going to cook. And we got some DJs coming through, just going to spin. We got speakers in the yard. You want to come hang out? So I did the after. I'm like, yes, I'm going to go hang out with y'all. And, you know, I go to their crib. I'm in the kitchen with Ma. She's telling me stories about her son. And, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a beautiful, beautiful night. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just talking to her and learning from her and talking to her husband. And at the end of the night, like, you know, like they're explaining to me that they had just gotten back a lot of the rights of their son's music under the umbrella of the estate. And they were like just kind of interested in different things that they could do with it. They asked me would I be interested in putting a project together from like about 500 folders, personal folders of Dilla's. Now, mind you, I would have been blown away to get a song or two. A track or two would have blew me away.
Been good. The
opportunity to, you know, to go through his files and pick out joints to put a project together, I was overwhelmed. Like, you know, like, thank you. Like, I realized that they could have asked anyone in hip hop that, so anyone, and they would have been blown away and honored to do it. And I took it as a real serious journey. After saying yes, I would love to. I started listening to everything I could find, every interview, every track. Saying like I wasn't the Dilla head to the degree beyond probably what was singles for different people. I've even come to understand how popular Dilla was beneath the surface globally. Like cats, he's revered and rightfully so. But it became this journey for me. So I'm studying literally interviews to tracks to this and the other, trying to find out what people had used. But there's so much. I didn't even realize that there was so much of his work. And I didn't want to like really take things that had been like just used that I just didn't hear. What I'm saying? Even though there's a few joints that people might recognize, but when I chose the tracks I chose, I didn't realize that, to the degree that people really were really up in Dilla's, just his walk. So and on top of it, I had to go to DC to get with her husband Tony, and we go to a studio, and he just has an engineer playing tracks for me, and the joints that I'm feeling, I create a folder for. Oh, I like that one. All right, I'll take that one. So after I got about 35, 40 tracks, like I said, I didn't even hear a fifth of what was available. I didn't even hear a fifth, but I had about 35, 40 tracks that I'm like, okay, this is a great start for me. I felt like whatever resonates with me, I'll just start playing these tracks, and whatever jumps out at me, I'll start writing to. And if I need to come back, then I'll come back. I didn't have to come back. It became this thing where everything just started happening organically. Started putting tracks, writing to them, this and the other. And my youngest son had an opportunity to do something for Disney. So they flew us out to California for him to do something for the Disney Channel. And while I'm out there, Tony calls me and he's like, yo, you out there, would you like to meet somebody from Delicious Vinyl? Delicious Vinyl being the first company that gave Dilla his opportunity to do something on a professional level. I was like, yeah, sure, send him by. I had a few tracks, had a few roughs done. I was like, I'll play him some stuff, maybe, we could get something popping off. So they send a young brother by, and so I'm telling them kind of the story that I'm telling you. And I'm telling them about, how I was watching one of the interviews, and it was like Dilla's last appearance, performing live, and he was overseas, and he's in a wheelchair, and one of his brothers is pushing him up on the stage, and they killed the whole show, but he was in a wheelchair, and like it brought tears to my eyes, to see that, what I'm saying? And and I'm telling him this, that, and the other, yeah. To which afterwards he breaks down, like I had never met him before. His name is Frank Nitt. He's like, yo, I'm Dilla's best friend. He's like, that was me pushing him up on stage.
Wow.
He's like, the folders that you're going through, I'm the one that put them together. And I was just like, oh my God, like just blown away, like just blown away that so organically everything was just like, it's almost like it was meant for me to do this project. And so me and him became quick friends. You know what I'm saying? And just started texting immediately, chopping it up. Always, he's a dope brother. And from there, I meet Mike Ross, who's the owner of Delicious Vinyl, becomes another friend. So as I'm putting the project together, I'm playing them joints, this, that, and the other, and they're bugging what I'm doing with it. And we're talking, and they start sending me things that they had in their personal vault. Yo, check this one out. You know what I'm saying? And to which I'm like, oh snap, like that's, let me get that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So this project just starts taking this real organic journey. And I literally just finished mixing, not me. I brought in a good friend of mine by the name of Pete Miser, who's an amazing producer and artist as well. And I wanted him to I didn't want to be too close to this project. Whereas a lot of times an artist can be so close to it that they get used to hearing it how they made it, and they kind of don't take it to another level.
Right. So, you get demoitis. They get demoitis.
Right. Exactly. You hit it right on the head. So as I did roughs, I was letting my boy Pete get them. Pete took it to another level, and Yo, we just finished the mixing. We just finished mixing the project. I'm actually going to the studio tonight to play the mixed album for Showbiz and a couple of my friends. And like
shout out to Showbiz.
Big time. DITC is family for life. But cats are gonna hear me right now in a way that they've never heard me before. Definitely gonna hear me how they know me. But they're gonna hear a few joints that they're gonna be like, wow. They're gonna hear a few Dilla tracks in a way that they've never heard a Dilla track before. This is, in my opinion, like this is the closest I've felt to a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing since a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Like when we finished a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, especially The Choice Is Yours, I was like we just did something. Now I don't know what it is that we did, but I know, we did something. That's how I feel about this project. I'm really excited. Like I just did something. I'm not sure what it is that I've done, but I've just done something. And so like I'm saying, like I'm mixing the project, and the COVID threw a big gap in my timeline. You know what I'm saying? Like everything was shut down, especially in New York. Everything was shut down. I literally couldn't get in the studio for months. So, you know, I had anticipated being done well before now, but you know, life is what it is sometimes. So I'm just finishing the mixing, and I'm realizing, you know, like nothing's mastered yet. And I'm realizing that, you know, all right, well, I'm not going to try to rush this out so that I'm coming out in 2020. Take my time. I'm going to solicit different, I'm going to see what's available to me, you know what I'm saying, as far as a deal or maybe a boutique situation or what have you, even if I wind up doing it independently with my dudes, because that concept behind me making it D&D is that it's Dres and Dilla. I wanted my Dukes and Tony to be my partners. I wanted the estate to be my partner. So when I do sign, I get a deal as a partner. It's a partnership. It's D&D. So it's almost like Dilla's here with me. So when I do get a deal, half of that paper goes to his estate because I'm that grateful for the opportunity. It's not Dres produced by Dilla. It's like Black Sheep. You know what I'm saying? We're a group. When I do a show, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to get booked as D&D so that I could always throw it up in a partnership and just, you know, like, and just keep it beyond official with them because I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity. And like I was saying, like, you know, we were just talking, like, sometimes you got to get in the ring just to show cats what you're capable of. That was important for me. It's important for me to not talk about how nice I am or what I'm capable of. No words. Let me show you something. And that's what this project is about to illustrate. I'm about to hit cats in the head. Like that's without a doubt. I'm a master.
I believe it. I believe you. I mean, so this project is wrapped up. It's almost ready to go. And you've been doing it for some time now, Dres. Let me ask you.
Oh, but let me just reiterate. So Dilla Drums, the track Dilla Drums.
Yes.
I came to the realization, like, we got the election coming. The song itself isn't even I didn't even have it earmarked as a single, to be honest with you. Like, that's how dope this project is. It wasn't even something that was earmarked to me as a single, but every single song, that's the bar that's set. Like, every single song does not fall below Dilla Drums. But I realized that
the record is hot though. The record is fire.
I also realized that this record isn't as strong after the election. This record doesn't have the same fervor that it has if I drop it next year. Like right now, this song speaks to today, what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? And it's important that and that's hip hop. Hip hop is speaking to the times, speaking to the moment. So even though it's not mastered, even though it's not the single, it's not for sale. You can't even buy it. You know what I'm saying? It's a true leaked song. It's something that I felt was important that, you know what I'm saying, I let people hear and not only promote the project, but speak to the times. So I reached out to a couple of publicists that I'm cool with, and I was like, you know, like, I'd like for you to leak this record. I'd like for you to make it available to DJs, to blogs, to this, that, and the other. And everyone has just been blown away by what it is, let alone that it's a Dilla joint that they hadn't heard and what have you. And Chuck is in pocket, killing it, and I'm
Yeah.
speaking to right now, and in the way that that we coexist on it. You know what I'm saying? But mind you, it's not even something that's for sale. It's a leaked song off the upcoming project that that afforded me to sit down with you right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
And
it's
I love it, bro. The record is I'm gonna give it to a couple of DJs. I know you're not gonna mind
at
because I
all,
know these guys gonna listen.
at all. You know what I'm saying? And
Listen,
like I said, it's not even mastered. It's gonna
true essence, the
it's gonna
true
sound better
essence.
when it comes out. You know what I'm saying? So like and it's a really strong song. You know what I'm saying? But man, the stuff that I got in line for cats, like they're gonna be blown away. I promise you, they really are. Word up.
I'm looking forward to it. Dres, I want to play this game with you, man. It's called University of Dope. It's only right. It's only right that I have you here, man. I gotta play with you, man. And listen, we getting ready to play this University of Dope with Dres from Black Sheep. Unpopular opinions are welcome. And bro, you only get one chance to pass on a question.
Okay.
One chance. If you should you need to. But
Okay.
unpopular opinions are welcome. It is all fun. It's all the fun of the game. So, Dres, here we go. The first question is, what is the most influential rap song of all time to you? A, The Message, B, Rapper's Delight, C, Planet Rock, or D, Sucker MCs?
Now, in my life, I'm gonna say Sucker MCs. When I remember being in Laurelton in Queens at my grandmother's house with my cousin F, Big F, big shout to Big F. And Sucker MCs. This is the summer of what was this, like 82, 83, something like that?
Yeah.
Yo, this record was blaring out of a car going by, and like hip hop was dope prior to this day, but at the moment I heard Sucker MC, like I already memorized enough rhymes from King Tim the Third to, saying definitely Flash, definitely Mel, you know what I'm saying? But Sucker MCs was on the block with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like hip hop prior to Run DMC was cameo-ish in appearance.
Correct.
Cats had, like uniforms and, feathers and, like they dressed to it. But Sucker MC was a hard rock. You know what I'm saying? Like it was on the block with you. Like, it was BVDs. It was, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a chain that, we all had a nameplate. We all had our name on our belts. You know what I'm saying? We all had on some Adidas, and it represented everything that was us. You know what I'm saying? In that moment. And it was just colossal. It was a colossal record to me. And mind you, every other record on that you just put in front of me was tremendous as well, and instrumental for Sucker MCs to exist.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I said, like they were speaking directly to me. It wasn't. I felt like the cats prior were a little bit bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? Like like they were in the park. You know what I'm saying? Plugging into the light fixture when I was a kid. You know what I'm
saying? But this spoke to your being. Yeah.
Right.
This spoke to you. No. All right. If someone wanted to experience hip hop for the first time, which one of these albums would you give them? A, Low End Theory, A Tribe Called Quest. B, Enter the Wu-Tang Clan. C, Straight Outta Compton, NWA, or D, Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim?
I'm gonna have to go with Paid in Full, Eric B. All
right.
Rob. Oh, okay. Let's keep moving. I was going. I'm about to give you a little.
You're stranded on a deserted island, but you can only listen to one album. Which one would it be? A, Black on Both Sides, Mos Def. B, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. C, 3 Feet High and Rising, De La Soul, or D, The Chronic by Dr. Dre?
Some dopeness right there. A lot of dopeness. I'm gonna stay close to home and go with 3 Feet High and Rising. It was just so universal in scope.
All right. Don't watch me, watch TV. The best music videos from this bunch: A, Drop by Pharcyde. B, Get Your Freak On, Missy Elliott. C, Bombs Over Baghdad, Outkast, or D, Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, Busta Rhymes?
We're gonna go with my dude, BR, Busta Rhymes. Put your hands. Just a lot of animation. He's killing it lyrically. Track is hot. It was a beautiful look for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And like that's how dope he is. He's he's a very, very special cat.
Yeah, he is. Lights, Camera, Action. The best film with a rapper in it. A, Belly. B, Paid in Full. C, Boys in the Hood. Or D, Set It Off.
I'm going around with Boys in the Hood on that one.
All right.
Saying like very instrumental in, like I remember the first time I met Snoop, you know what I'm saying? And he asked me, first of all, he asked me two things. What was I wearing? The shoes on my feet, which were Wallabies. He had never seen Wallabies. I'm like, yo, these are Wallabies, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then he asked me, yo, so if we went out to New York, man, like, would they dig it? Would they like us out there? And at the time, yo, this is my word. Like, I was blown away. I was like, yo, my dude, right now on 125th Street in Harlem, New York, if you was to walk right down the street, you'd probably hear your music coming out of more cars than cats that live there. Like, y'all are killing. And cats word up. And he was like, for real? I was like, yo, for real.
That's dope, man. Thank you for sharing. That was dope. Drum roll, please. The best hip hop soundtrack. A, Friday. B, Above the Rim. C, 8 Mile. Or D, Juice.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to roll with, I think, Above the Rim on this one. You know what I'm saying? Above the Rim had Afro Puffs, right?
Yeah, Afro Puffs, SWV, anything featuring Wu-Tang.
Yo, I think just Afro Puffs alone. Yo, this is my word. I love that record so much. Like Lady of Rage, like, oh my God. Like that record so special. You know what I'm saying? Like she gave everybody the business with that record. Like that record is amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna go Above the Rim on that one.
All right. One gotta go, Dres. Who gotta be?
Ooh.
A, Leaders of the New School. B,
Ooh.
Beastie Boys. C, Arrested Development. Or D, Black Sheep.
Okay, now. I got a lot of love for Speech, man. He's a good dude, man. And this is my word. Like, Choice Is Yours and I think it was Mr. Wendell or Everyday People were nominated for MTV Awards. And, like I thought the clear winner was going to be us. Like, the record was just that popular and not to, kind of, blow my own horn or anything like that. But that's the development one. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was a little butthurt, but I definitely never let it show. But, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna have to toss more on this one. You know what I'm saying? But
that's the payback. If these four MCs were on the same track today, who would come out on top? A, LL Cool J, B, Rakim, C, KRS-One, or D, Big Daddy Kane?
Wow, man. That's literally a coin flip. Like that flips four ways. Who's gonna come out on top? I think dynamically. Ooh, sheesh. You know what? I'm gonna go with Cool J. Word up.
Ladies love him. Ladies love him.
And like Cool J, honestly, to me, like doesn't get the props he deserves. Whereas, if you think back to Beat Street, you know what I'm saying? Like Cool J personified something that hip hop never let go of. You know what I'm saying? And it was at a really important time. You know what I'm saying? And like Def Jam's first. You know what I'm saying? Like the kid was dead nice,
nice,
and
nice.
His bravado preceded him. You know what I'm saying? And he was very important to the culture in a way that he doesn't get his props. You know what I'm saying? Like, Cool J he's special. He's a special cat. And all of those MCs are very special. But I'm gonna give it to Cool J on that one.
All right. I know you're gonna love this one, man. Reinstate one back into hip hop. If you could bring any of them back, who would it be? A, Guru, B, J-Dilla, C, Nate Dogg, or D, Big Pun?
man, I'd give anything to be sitting in a room with J-Dilla right now. Word up.
It is. Stay woke. The best politically conscious song. A, Fight the Power, Public Enemy. B, F the Police, NWA. C, Hip Hop by Dead Prez. Or D, My President by Jeezy.
Ooh. Let's do easily could go to Public Enemy, easily could go to NWA, but I'm gonna give this one to Dead Prez. You know what I'm saying? Like they resonated with that, you know what I'm saying, for the culture. Like that was for us. You know, so that I felt like that was a hip hop artist's song. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was a big song to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they spoke for us, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like they, you know, that was important for the culture. Like all of them were. But you know what I'm saying, that was, and the sound of it, you know what I'm saying, like Public Enemy, don't get twisted, that they had their own sound as well. But I like what Dead Prez did with that. That was a good look.
So erase one person from hip hop history, who would it be? A, Nas. B, Notorious B.I.G. C, Tupac. Or D, Jay-Z.
Wow. I could see where people could hate you after playing this game. Let me see. Nas, Big, Pac, J. I'm gonna let Pac go.
All right. There it is. That's Dres playing the game. University of Dope. Unpopular opinions are welcome. Having fun. No disrespect to any of these great groups of MCs. We're having fun and just learning. The best piece of it, Dres, is just learning some of the stories that you hip hop icons and artists and groups add to these questions. So it's really dope having you play it, man.
Honestly, like the real honor is to be on the card. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing but greatness on every single one of those cards, and to see Black Sheep on there, I'm honored. And you know, like everything I saw in there, it represent nothing but greatness. That like there is no real wrong answer on any of them. You know what I'm saying? To be honest.
Right. And depending on what part of hip hop you grew up in and what coast or what region, the answers do change. So that's what I really love about that game, man.
It's like what it means to you. Right. Exactly. Exactly. A little bit of insight. Yeah.
Bro, you've been doing this for some time now. I want to ask you, man, two really important questions, man, before you go. I know your time is of essence, man. After all these years, man, new album out with Dilla and Dres, No Words. What motivates you?
You know what? I think I could bring it right back to the beginnings of our conversation. The opportunity for greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like every day is the opportunity for greatness. I just so happen to be an MC. You know what I'm saying? But the opportunity exists in all walks of life. You know what I'm saying? And it's for you to kind of find the greatness inside of you at whatever you do, whoever you are. The opportunity for greatness presents itself, and it's for you to take yourself seriously. I mean, you know, like from being a father to a husband to a son to, you know what I'm saying, like to whatever your occupation is, to even in your leisure, you know what I'm saying, like there exists an opportunity for greatness. You know what I'm saying? You know, look at a LeBron, you know, like I'm sure as soon as they finished the season, he was already probably working out because the opportunity is there. And that's how I look at being an MC. You know what I'm saying? Like I've dropped some independent projects. If you didn't know, that I'm much more than a wolf in sheep's clothing and nonfiction. People, make sure you check out my indie projects from 8WM, Novocaine to from the Black Pool of Genius. Me and Jerobi dropped the album under the moniker Evertan. Evertan is native spelled backwards. You know what I'm saying? There's an album out there for you to check out. This D&D project, which will probably be out, you know, the top of the year, 2021. Like it's gonna be something special for the culture. And like I said, you're gonna hear me in ways that you've never heard me before, because I'm veering out of what you know me for. You know what I'm saying? I see the opportunity for greatness in these Dilla tracks. You're gonna hear Dilla tracks in a way you've never heard them before. You know what I'm saying? Because there's an opportunity to flip things when you look at them from all angles. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna make some statements that kind of need to be said. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that DJs get the opportunity to introduce the people to something that didn't exist before they did.
So music is the soundtrack to our life. For you, what is the best song or artist that best describes your journey up to this point?
Easy one for me. I learned the power of words really early in life. And this is before hip hop. I remember being maybe about 10, 11, I would say 10 to 12. Somewhere in there, I was in the living room, mom's crib, you know, where I grew up in Astoria Projects, the linoleum floor, and I'm playing some vinyl. It was a 2-record album called Songs in the Key of Life by Stevie Wonder. And it came with a booklet of all the words. And like I said, I was between 10 and 12. And I was coming to understand the power of words. I memorized every single record on both of those albums, including the one that was in Swahili and Spanish. And there was one instrumental on this record, and I wrote lyrics to it at that age. I wrote a song to the instrumental on Songs in the Key of Life. It was a journey for me, that album. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it introduced me to the power of words. It's a beautiful, beautiful album. And I carry that knowledge with me to this very day of how powerful words are.
Dres, man, I can't thank you enough. Listen, if you've been listening and watching, you heard Brother Dres. When the opportunity for greatness presents itself, step forward. Iron sharpens iron. Never leave the opportunity to walk in your greatness unknown, because you never want to go back and say, you know what, I wish I had, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. But understanding that, take the opportunity to put your best foot forward, and that's where you're gonna find greatness. And be your authentic self, because you got power in your voice, and the power is now. So never leave that to chance. Like Brother Dres said, walk in your greatness at all times. Dres, thank you so much, man, for joining us on the show. We look forward to No Words, Dilla and Dres coming out between now and 2021. Like he said, you're going to hear Dres like you never heard him before. Don't worry about nonfiction. Don't worry about Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Anything that's come before now, put that to the side and get ready for a brother who is seasoned, who is spectacular, who's doing what he's doing. He still got the waves going on the side. For us brothers, for some of the brothers who ain't even got no hair no more, for some of us, we just trying to get
I can spice this dish up right now.
Listen, we appreciate you. We love you. Follow him, like him, and when that album comes out, No Words, if you're privy enough to get this, matter of fact, if you hit me up, I'm gonna make sure you get it, because I'm gonna leak it myself.
That's what's up. Please do. Please do. And a big shout to 50, and this is 50 dope platform, you know what I'm saying, and repping the culture, helping us share things like this, man. It's very important that, you know, that we get to the space where we share with each other and we build with each other, you know what I'm saying? And so a big shout to This Is 50. Thanks for having me.
Man, we appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless y'all. Make sure y'all love someone. Tell somebody y'all love them, and give somebody a random act of kindness. It comes back 100-fold, and I promise you'll be blessed. This is your host, June Archer, here for This Is 50, the Winner Circle, and Motivate You. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.